Languages are easy. Like, if I can do it, basically anyone can. If this dumbass can do it, then anyone can do it. In my humble opinion, learning languages isn't hard. Like, if I could learn two languages, I don't think there is any reason for anyone else not to be able to. But I really learned it at a very young age by just listening. Like, English, you could judge for yourself how good at it I am because I'm speaking to you in it, but it's just one of the two languages that I know. Me, the Cro-Magnon, can learn English and another language alongside English. Well, I think pretty much anyone could. Though English is obviously not my first language, not at all, not by a long shot, but I'm not really good at both. But that's just a me problem. I think you could probably circumvent that problem. I mean, the way that I learned it is that I was just browsing the YouTubes, and by sheer chance, my brother, who used the YouTubes before me, thought that he didn't like my first language and people speaking in my first language. Well, the content that was produced in my language and adjacent languages. So he just went to English because the content in English was much better, and I guess it just worked out pretty splendidly for me, I guess, because I just watched what he liked to watch. He pretty much watched the exact same thing for a very long time, and I just got with the program and got fairly good at it. It's not fairly good even now, after years upon years of just listening. I think I haven't perfected it, but that's again just a me problem. The way that I did it wasn't that I was like, yeah, English has this word, these words, these structures, this means that, that means that, and so on and so forth. I just kept listening and listening and listening, and eventually just got it. And the other tongue that I learned was through my parents. My parents spoke that language because it was our first language, and so it was the most common language that we spoke. Here, there are many other languages which are adjacent to my first language, so I can understand most words that come from, well, the region that I live in. So it isn't that hard to understand it, but again, it's not that I have I am that smart of a person. I just kind of just sat there and it was like, booga booga, this means that, booga booga. And the problem that just arises from that was, at a point I could not, well, give you a direct meaning of every word that I learned or translate it into the other language, my first language, because when you learn from your parents, you learn a relatively small range of words, and I didn't know every word and every use of that word. I guess I would probably never know, but I didn't know a large sum of words, so I just tried to explain it best I knew. But English had a different problem, because English I learned from just watching internet, and since I learned from various YouTube videos, every video would have used many different words that I either didn't know or did not know enough to use myself. So I would just get to hear a lot of words that are from English and the deeper side of English, like Latin words and the origin of words, like for instance, Latin words and Greek words as root words for English words. Uh, Count the number of the word that I use throughout this video. I guess that's your goal of the day. Just leave it down in the comments. So the way that I learned English was just by listening to it, and just got it. And in my humble opinion, learning English is just a great opportunity for any person whatsoever. So if you have the opportunity to let somebody learn English just by sitting there and just consuming it, let them, because English is spoken in like three continents, maybe four, give or take, and adjacent languages, because English has a few adjacent languages like Spanish, like French, like Greek, like German, which are similar in structure. Because if you read the structure of other languages like Japanese, which has a very different structure, from my understanding, a very different structure than English, you would probably not get it. But a language like, well, Spanish or maybe Italian, you may just get it by association, because the structure of these languages is very similar to English. Though these languages tend to use to give gender to inanimate objects, with which English just doesn't do. And as far as I understand it, well, in my first language, this does happen very often. And so it's just, if you just keep listening to your language, you would get what gender to give to what, because it's just kind of instinct, I guess. You just get a gut feeling that a fan is male and a wall is also male, or something like that. Because, boy howdy, these objects obviously don't have any gender, which is very stupid for languages to do. I just don't get why, but that is one of the things that I really like about English. It doesn't give inanimate objects gender, which is stupid in my humble opinion. I guess it does, because ships, it gives ships gender, which is very similar to what other languages do, where when they give inanimate objects gender, it is very much like how, well, when you speak about a ship, you would give it you would call it as if it was a female, because obviously a ship isn't, but that is what nautical folk do. Well, yeah, that's about it for me. Bye.